All right, guys, so we're going to jump in really quick and talk about two things that drive people crazy when it comes to a little bit of basic sound design, if you will. So the first thing is equalization. The second thing is compression. These are two things you kind of need to, I guess I like to call it photoshopping your voice. It's basically Photoshop for sound. So we're going to jump right in and show you on equalization here. Look at the bottom end of the bar. Think of that as the lower part of your voice. And again, I'm explaining this in a for dummies fashion, so you technical folks out there, give the beginners a break. I'm explaining this in a way they can understand it. So the bottom of the bar is the lower end of your voice. The middle of the bar is the middle range of your voice. And the last part of the bar, the end, is the higher frequency tones of your voice. And that goes for anything, any kind of sound. Doesn't have to be a voice. Think of it, bass, mid-range, high frequency sounds. So basically, think of the bar like this. Okay, so that's the best way I can explain that. So you can either give or take away. When you drag the bar down, you're taking away. When you drag this bar up, you're adding. So you have to be very subtle in how you do this, because you can add and take away in all frequencies at the same time. That is how sound designers golden your voice. I like to call it, they put a little bit of gold in your voice and make your voice sound really nice and sweet. Usually all you need to do that is to take away most of the bottom end, and that nasty, muddy bass that you really don't need in the voice. Unless you want to sound like an amazing radio broadcaster like Howard Stern. Oh my, I love it when you look at me like that. And a little bit on the high end. Sometimes you add a little bit on the high end, not too much, just a little bit to brighten it up. That's what they call it. You brighten up your voice just a little bit to make it stand on top, to make it less muddy, to make it kind of stand out.
Oh boy! Hey, boys and girls! When I brighten up my voice, now things sound a lot better!
And there's an art form behind this, you guys. I'm going to be honest with you in saying that you have to just practice this over and over and over and just experiment for a year. Literally, that's how long it took me to just figure this stuff out with all kinds of things other than voices. And you experiment, you find out, you find your own recipes for things, you become creative. Like I said, this is like Photoshop for sound. So you have to be artistical in your own way with this. That's just how it works. So compression. Compression is easy. All it does is it raises and lowers the sound. It squishes all the sound together so it sounds more linear. So if you're talking and you're being way too loud or you're being way too soft and you can barely hear, what a compressor does is it takes the lowest ends of your voice, the in volume, it takes those parts, and then it takes the highest parts, and for the highest parts, it squishes it down a little bit, and for the lowest parts, it brings the volume up a little bit, and you can change this all in the settings of the compressors. Each compressor is different. I have my own compressors. I use my own settings, but it basically makes it so when somebody's listening to your voice, they're not going to hear something really low. And then all of a sudden, nobody wants to hear that. So it compresses all that, brings the lower end up, brings the top, the higher volume down. So everything is streamlined pretty much. So everything is a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more tolerable to listen to. So with that said, that's a quick tip. Voiceover, voice acting, it's all the same thing to me, you guys. It's all characters being brought to life. Remember that, and stay awesome, stay creative, and stay cool. Bye-bye.